Hey, what's up everybody? So in today's video, I just got some random clips and then I'm going to basically just talk. A lot of gamers do this kind of thing where they have the video games playing in the background, but in this case, it's surfing and maybe a little bit of drone footage and stuff like that. So the topic of the video, and I want to try something a little bit different, is the topic is you guys are so lucky to live where you live and to live the life that you live. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because I get this comment all the time, and we've been doing this channel for like 4 or 5 years, and we have almost 10 million views, so you can imagine how many times we get certain comments over and over. And one of them is, you guys are so lucky to live the life that you live and to live where you are and you're blessed. Almost like as if I had entered, or we had entered a raffle and we just hit the jackpot and won our life here in Costa Rica by the beach, surfing and kind of running our own businesses and stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, maybe do a little storytelling, because a lot of people wonder and ask, how did you guys end up down here in Costa Rica? What did you do before you did that? So I'm just going to tell a little bit of story time for the next 9 minutes. So I'm originally from Hawaii. I'm the dad, if you're wondering, Moi. And when I grew up, we moved back and forth. My parents were like gypsies. They were like nomads. They were constantly moving around. My dad was an artist. So although I was born and raised a good part of my life, we did travel to the US and live in California as well as New York and Florida for parts of my life back and forth. So one of the things that happened to me when I was growing up is I got used to constantly moving around. And at the time, I didn't like it. At the time, I used to think, I wish I could just live in one house and not move and have the same friends. And by the time I graduated from high school, I lost count, but I had been to over 22 schools, public schools that is, all the way from kindergarten to high school. I sat down one day and tried to remember all of them. So to kind of fast forward a little bit, when I left Hawaii, the reason why we left Hawaii is because, you know, a lot of people ask and they say, why did you ever leave Hawaii? Why did you go to Costa Rica? Isn't Hawaii like the ultimate paradise? And yes, Hawaii is beautiful and has, you know, a lot of the similarities that you'll find here in Costa Rica. But where I lived was like 10 minutes from the city. And it was actually busy. We had rush hour, we had traffic, you know, the best waves were crowded. And it was really, really expensive, very hard to get ahead. So when I was in my early 20s, I decided that, you know, I wanted to try leaving and going somewhere. So I ended up in Huntington Beach, California. And I worked as a personal trainer over there. Did that for about 1.5 years. Then I made my way to Las Vegas. And then in Las Vegas, we set up, and that's where actually Atua was born. He was born, so he's a Las Vegas baby. And we ran a business there for almost 7 years. Now, getting to the part where we end up in Costa Rica. After about 3 years living there, I was really just getting tired of it, and I missed the beach a ton. A couple of my friends, I don't remember if it was on Facebook or what was going on, but I got wind that a couple of friends were going to a place called Costa Rica. I had never even heard of it at the time. I was like, where's that? Is that Africa? I had no idea. And they're like, yeah, we're going, you know. And it was during the slow season of our business where I usually would have a couple months off. Not off, but slow. So I decided to just go ahead and join them. And I went there, and after being in Costa Rica for 10 days and just surfing every day, and I had barely surfed in like 5 or 6 years, I was sold. And this is 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago. And went back home, back to work, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I finally just kind of made the decision that, you know what, I got to go back there. I got to live there. It reminds me of the stories my dad used to tell me when I was young. He used to tell me about Hawaii back in the 50s and 60s, and how it used to be dirt roads and this and that. And it was the same thing. So long story short, I got obsessed with it. And a lot of people are, you know, think like, wow, that's crazy. It's risky. I can't believe you did it. At the time, everybody thought I was nuts. They're like, what are you going to do? You're going to what? You're going to walk away from your business to go move to Costa Rica? Like, who does that? And at the time, the internet wasn't as big as it is, and people weren't just, nowadays, I think people are going all over the place. There's like a movement. But went there, and I was like, you know, I didn't have a plan. we weren't going to start a surf camp. We didn't know what we were going to do. It was just like, let's just go and let's just adventure and let's figure it out. Now, the reason why I told you guys the story from when I was younger is I believe that because I moved around so much as a youngling, that when it came time to uproot and take on an adventure like this, I think it was something ingrained in me where I was not afraid of it. I had no fear of stepping into the unknown. And I think a lot of people nowadays don't live their life to the fullest or chase their dreams, or they procrastinate because of just either fear or habit of not wanting to change. And I don't know, maybe we can turn this video into a little bit of an inspiration, motivation, but I think, you live this life once and you got one shot at it. And if you're constantly waiting for something, whether it's I need more money or the timing is right or, whatever, there's always going to be something. You may just never do it and your life can pass you by. And I think everybody has a dream. And the reason why I know this is when we owned Shaka Surf Camp, and that's a whole nother story in itself, how that came, but that was never part of the plan. But one of the things I will never forget is the guests that would come constantly to Costa Rica. They would see us living there with Atua at the time. He was like 5 years old. Keely was a little baby. And they would always ask questions like, oh my God, you guys are living here. You guys are family. You guys moved here. What's it like? And they would just ask us, and we would tell the story over and over and over. And one of the things that I kept noticing is that so many people that came there and visited were looking for a change in their life. And that was the reason. It was like they wanted to get away, take a break, and they wanted to kind of like have some time to kind of think about their next move. And that was a common guest, I guess you could say, that constantly kept showing up at Shaka Surf Camp when we were the owners. And I would spend hours talking with these people and kind of learning about their dreams and what they wanted to do. And actually, I'm still friends with a lot of them, but it was always that kind of that same thing where they were always like, I want to do this, or I'm going to do this, or, I don't really like what I'm doing. I'm just kind of doing it because I went to school and maybe I got a degree, so I have this, knowledge and I can get a job, but I don't really like this job. And I kept seeing this repeat over and over and over, where people wanted more, wanted something, or they had a dream, but they just weren't chasing it. And I guess maybe that's one of the things that I was gifted with, was the ability to jump in, blindly, take risk, and drag everybody along with me. Actually, my brother owns some land out here, so probably one of the biggest things about living in Costa Rica, the down, is not being able to visit family as much, even though we have our family here. But the truth is when I go back to Hawaii or California or Vegas, it seems so often that they're just so busy in their lives that they don't even have time to hang out with us. And I get it, because when you go back, they have jobs and they have their routine and this and that. But I always kind of go back to the, wow, I really like the kind of life that we live. And the truth is we make a lot less money than the average American family. It's just that we're able to live a lot cheaper here because we made some decisions, like we bought land, we built a house, so we no longer pay mortgage, and we don't have a huge, we don't have cell phones, and we don't have all these bills that a lot of people kind of stockpile up living in, I guess, your typical life. But guys, just kind of wanted to tell this story really quick, and I just rambled on. I had no plan. I just wanted to basically put up a video, so I hope you guys got a little something out of that, and we'll see you in the next video. And tell me if you guys like this kind of video, if you like this kind of a talk, and I'll see you in the next video. Pura vida and aloha.